Hello everyone. In today's video, we're going to listen to a conversation between Emma and John about their travel experiences and adventures around the world. Get ready to practice your English listening skills and dive into some exciting travel stories.
Hey Emma, I heard you've been traveling a lot lately. Where did you go this time?
Hi John. Yes, I've been bitten by the travel bug eggs. I just got back from Japan a few days ago. It was incredible. Have you ever been there?
Japan? Wow, that's on my bucket list. No, I haven't been, but I've always wanted to go. What was your favorite part of the trip?
Honestly, it's hard to choose just one thing. The entire experience was amazing, but if I had to pick, I'd say the contrast between modern cities like Tokyo and the traditional places like Kyoto. It felt like traveling through time.
That's fascinating. I've read about that mix of ultra-modern and ancient culture in Japan. Did you get to see any temples in Kyoto?
Oh yes, I visited several. The Fushimi Inari Shrine with its thousands of red torii gates was stunning. It's like walking through a tunnel of bright orange. And the Kinkakuji, the Golden Pavilion, was another highlight. It's a temple covered in gold leaf, sitting on a serene pond. Just breathtaking.
That sounds so peaceful. Did you try any of the local food? I've heard Japanese cuisine is an experience in itself.
Absolutely. The food was out of this world. I had sushi in a tiny restaurant in Tsukiji Market in Tokyo, and it was the freshest fish I've ever tasted. I also tried ramen, tempura, and even some foods I wasn't sure about, like octopus takoyaki in Osaka. Japanese food is so diverse.
I've always wondered, is the food there really that different from what we have here?
Oh, definitely. The flavors are more delicate and everything is so fresh. Plus, there's a lot of etiquette involved in eating, like how you dip your sushi or slurping your noodles. It's all part of the experience.
That's interesting. So, did you find it difficult to adjust to the culture? I know Japan has a very different way of life.
At first, it was a little overwhelming. The politeness, the quietness on public transport, and even how people bow instead of shaking hands. But once I got used to it, I loved it. The respect for others is something I wish we had more of back home.
That's one of the things I admire about Japanese culture. Everything seems so orderly and respectful. Did you pick up any Japanese while you were there?
Just a few basic phrases. Arigato for thank you, sumimasen for excuse me, and konnichiwa for hello. I mostly relied on Google Translate, though. A lot of people spoke some English, especially in the bigger cities, so it wasn't too hard to get around.
I imagine technology helps a lot when traveling these days. Speaking of which, how do you usually prepare for a trip? Do you plan everything ahead or just go with the flow?
I'm more of a planner, honestly. Before I go anywhere, I do a lot of research. I read about the culture, find out the best places to visit, and figure out the local customs. It helps to be prepared, especially in countries where the culture is really different.
That's smart. I've made the mistake of not planning before, and I ended up missing out on a few things. What about the language barrier, though? How do you deal with that in countries where you don't speak the language?
It can be tricky, but I've found that people are usually very understanding if you make an effort. I try to learn a few key phrases before I go, like how to ask for directions or order food. Plus, like I said, technology is a lifesaver. Translation apps are a game changer.
I've always wanted to do some traveling like you. If you had to recommend one place to visit, where would it be?
That's a tough one. But if I had to choose, I'd say Italy. There's something magical about it. The history, the food, the art. It's like stepping into a living museum. Rome alone is worth the trip, but Venice and Florence are also unforgettable.
Italy, huh? I've always dreamed of going there. I'd love to see the Colosseum and the Vatican. Did you do any of that?
Oh, definitely. The Colosseum is mind-blowing. Standing there, thinking about all the history that happened in that place. It gave me chills. And the Vatican? It's beautiful. Even if you're not religious, the art and architecture are awe-inspiring.
I can only imagine. What was your favorite part about Italy?
The food, hands down. Italian cuisine is so fresh and flavorful. I took a cooking class in Florence, and we made pasta from scratch. It was such a cool experience. And don't even get me started on the gelato.
That sounds like a dream. I've been meaning to ask you, what about the people you meet during your travels? Do you think meeting locals makes a big difference?
Oh, absolutely. Meeting locals is one of the best parts of traveling. They can give you insights into the culture that you wouldn't get from a guidebook. Plus, they often point you to hidden gems that tourists might miss.
That makes sense. I feel like getting to know people from different backgrounds really broadens your perspective.
It really does. I've met so many interesting people from all over the world. Each country has its own unique charm, and talking to locals helps you appreciate it even more. It's amazing how much we can learn from each other.
I bet. Have you ever had any cultural misunderstandings while traveling?
Oh, plenty. In Japan, for example, I didn't realize that it's considered rude to tip. I left a tip after a meal, and the waiter came running after me to return it. I was so embarrassed.
That's hilarious. It just shows how different customs can be. Did you have any other memorable experiences like that?
Yes, in Spain. I was in a small town, and I didn't realize that most shops close in the afternoon for a few hours during siesta time. I was wandering around wondering why everything was shut. It's a tradition there, and it's actually kind of nice. People slow down and take a break in the middle of the day.
That's a tradition I could get used to. So what's next on your travel list?
I'm thinking about heading to South America. I've always wanted to visit Machu Picchu in Peru. The history of the Inca civilization fascinates me, and the landscape looks stunning.
That's a great choice. I've heard the trek to Machu Picchu is challenging, but so worth it. Are you planning to hike the Inca Trail?
That's the plan. It's a 4-day trek, and it's supposed to be tough, but I think it'll be an amazing experience. Plus, I've been doing more hiking lately, so I'm up for the challenge.
That sounds incredible. It's like combining your love for adventure with your passion for history. I'm sure you'll have some great stories to tell after that.
I hope so. Every trip brings something new, whether it's learning about another culture, seeing a famous landmark, or just trying something out of my comfort zone. Traveling never disappoints.
I admire that. I think I need to start traveling more myself. There's so much world to see, and it sounds like you've really embraced that.
You should. It's one of the most rewarding things you can do. There's nothing like exploring new places and seeing how other people live. It reminds you that the world is so much bigger than just your own little corner.
You've definitely inspired me. Maybe we can plan a trip together someday.
I'd love that. Traveling with friends makes the experience even better. Let's make it happen.
Deal. Thanks for sharing your travel stories, Emma. It's been great to hear about all your adventures.
Anytime, John. I'm always happy to talk about travel. Who knows, maybe next time we chat, you'll be telling me about your own adventures.
Hopefully. Well, it sounds like you've got your next trip planned already. Good luck with Machu Picchu, and I can't wait to hear all about it.
Thanks. I'll be sure to take lots of pictures and share them with you. And who knows, maybe I'll pick up a few more travel tips along the way.
I've been thinking, Emma, how do you even plan for a trip like hiking Machu Picchu? It sounds like a serious adventure.
Oh, it definitely is. I've already started preparing, actually. The hike is no joke. It's high altitude and takes several days, so I've been doing research on everything from the right gear to how to acclimate to the elevation.
Wow, that sounds intense. I didn't even think about the altitude. Have you ever done a high altitude hike before?
Not quite like this. I did a shorter trek in the Alps a few years ago, but it wasn't nearly as high as Machu Picchu. The altitude can be tough if you're not used to it. They say you should spend a few days in Cusco before the trek to adjust, and I'm planning to do just that.
That makes sense. I've heard people can get altitude sickness if they're not careful. How are you preparing for that?
I'm doing a lot of cardio and strength training to get in shape, but honestly, there's only so much you can do for altitude. It's more about pacing yourself and drinking lots of water once you're up there. I've been reading a lot about how locals in Peru chew coca leaves to help with the altitude, so I'm curious to try that too.
Coca leaves? That's interesting. I didn't know they had a practical use like that. I always thought they were just part of the culture in South America.
Yeah, it's a big part of their culture, but it also helps with the altitude. It's something that's been used for centuries by the indigenous people in the Andes. You'll see coca tea offered everywhere in Cusco, and it's supposed to help with headaches and fatigue caused by the altitude.
That's so cool. It's amazing how different cultures have their own solutions for the challenges they face. What else are you looking forward to in Peru besides Machu Picchu?
I'm really excited to explore Cusco itself. It was the capital of the Inca Empire, so there's so much history there. The architecture is a mix of Incan and Spanish colonial styles, and the city is full of narrow streets, old buildings, and vibrant markets. I can't wait to just wander around and take it all in.
I can imagine. There's something special about those kinds of places where the history is right in front of you. It's like stepping back in time. Are you planning to visit any other places in Peru?
Yes, after Machu Picchu, I'm thinking about heading to the Sacred Valley. It's full of ancient ruins, small villages, and beautiful landscapes. It's also where you'll find some of the best markets for local crafts, like textiles and pottery. I'm hoping to pick up a few souvenirs.
That sounds like a great way to experience the culture. Do you usually bring back souvenirs from your trips?
I try to. I love bringing home something that reminds me of the place I visited. In Japan, I brought back a beautiful handmade tea set, and in Italy, I got a leather bag from Florence. I think it's nice to have something tangible that connects you to those memories.
That's a great idea. I've never been much of a souvenir person, but maybe I should start. It seems like a meaningful way to remember your travels.
It really is. And it doesn't have to be something big or expensive. Sometimes just a small memento can bring back a flood of memories. I also like to take a lot of photos, of course, but there's something special about having a physical item to hold on to.
Speaking of photos, do you have a favorite photo from any of your trips? Like one picture that captures everything about the place?
That's a tough one. But if I had to choose, I'd say there's this one picture I took in Santorini, Greece. It's of a sunset over the caldera, with the whitewashed buildings and blue domes in the foreground. The sky was this incredible mix of orange and pink, and it just felt like the perfect moment.
That sounds like a postcard. Greece is another place I've always wanted to visit. How was that trip?
Greece was magical. Santorini is stunning, but the whole country is beautiful. I also went to Athens and visited the Acropolis, which was awe-inspiring. There's so much history there, and it feels like every corner of the country has a story to tell. And of course, the food was amazing. I think I ate my weight in moussaka and baklava.
Now, you're making me hungry. Greek food is so delicious. So out of all the places you've been, do you have a favorite? Or is that impossible to pick?
It's almost impossible. Every place has something unique to offer. But if I had to pick one, I'd say Italy still holds a special place in my heart. There's just something about the combination of history, culture, and food that makes it feel like a second home to me.
Italy again. You really must have fallen in love with it. What about it makes you feel that way?
I think it's the way life feels there. Everything is slower, more relaxed. People take their time with meals, enjoy the company of friends and family, and really savor life. Plus, there's so much beauty everywhere you look, from the art and architecture to the countryside. It's hard not to fall in love with a place like that.
That sounds perfect. I think I need to book a trip to Italy as soon as possible. Do you think you'll ever move there?
Funny you ask that. I've thought about it a lot. I could definitely see myself living there for a while. Maybe somewhere like Tuscany, where I could enjoy the countryside and still be close to cities like Florence or Siena. Who knows? Maybe one day.
That would be an amazing experience. I think living in another country would really change your perspective on life. Have you ever lived abroad before?
Not for an extended period, but I did a study abroad program in France for a semester during college. It was a life-changing experience. Being immersed in another culture, learning the language, and making friends from all over the world, it opened my eyes to how big and diverse the world is.
That's awesome. I've always wanted to do something like that. It seems like it would really broaden your horizons.
It definitely does. I think everyone should live in another country at least once in their life. It teaches you so much about yourself and the world. Plus, it's a great way to really get to know a place beyond just visiting as a tourist.
I'm sold. Maybe one day I'll follow in your footsteps and live abroad for a while. So what's your ultimate travel goal? Like, is there one place or experience that's your dream?
My ultimate dream? I'd say it's probably a trip around the world. I'd love to take a year off and just travel to as many countries as I can. There are so many places I haven't seen yet, like New Zealand, South Africa, and Iceland. I want to experience it all.
That would be incredible. I've heard New Zealand is breathtaking with its landscapes and natural beauty, and Iceland, the Northern Lights are on my list too.
Exactly. New Zealand's nature looks like something out of a fantasy movie, and Iceland's geothermal hot springs and volcanoes are so unique. The Northern Lights would be the icing on the cake. I've been dreaming of seeing them for years.
I think you'd love it. Well, Emma, you've officially inspired me to start planning my own adventures. I think it's time for me to stop dreaming and start doing.
That's the spirit. There's a whole world out there waiting for you. And trust me, once you start traveling, you won't want to stop. It becomes a part of you.
I can see that. Thanks for sharing all your stories, Emma. It's been awesome hearing about your travels. I think I'm going to go home tonight and start planning my next trip.
You should. And who knows, maybe we'll cross paths on the road someday. Travel has a funny way of bringing people together.
I'd love that. Safe travels on your next adventure, Emma. I can't wait to hear all about Machu Picchu when you get back.
Thanks, John. I'll be sure to send you lots of pictures. Until then, keep dreaming big and start packing those bags. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and stay tuned for the upcoming episodes to keep improving your English. And remember, listening, practice, and improve.